Hey. So, how yeah. I hope you're all doing well. Today is Monday, the 13th of March. So yesterday I didn't record anything because I had a migraine. It wasn't too bad. I think I got rid of the worst of it overnight, but I've still got it now, that sort of heavy feeling in my head. So I didn't record anything. Speedway was the last thing you would have seen, and I think after I finished editing that video, my daughter messaged me to say that Evan's car was involved in a crash, not a serious one, but enough to do quite a lot of damage to it. So yeah, that's right, someone's just going past the door. It's an automatic door, so it opens. I know when someone's coming in. So yesterday I just had, I went to town, and because Evan had a few drinks and he got a ride home on Saturday night, so I had to give him a ride back to the workshop to pick up his ute. So I popped into one of the hardware stores and I bought some more potting mix and these plants. I don't even know what they are, busy lizzies or something, just to throw in the front garden. So if I'm feeling up to it when I get home, I'll do it when I get home. You can tell my head's foggy, eh? It's really hard to hold a conversation when your head feels like that. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to cook for tea, so that will also be a mystery. So anyway, I was talking about yesterday. So I went in, I did that. I also bought, they've got like a homeware section in the hardware store. And I bought a short pillar candle for that candlestick thing that I bought, that pillar candle stand. It was too big. So that's all right, I didn't spend a lot of money on it. So I've actually measured it, and I've ordered a beeswax one from a local company. So that'll be cool. I might have that tomorrow. And yeah, I'd had plans to go out in the garden, but it was such a beautiful day, but the light was so bright that I just couldn't cope with the glare outside. So I canned that idea, and I just went into my sewing room and I did some sewing. And we went out for tea at our friend's house, and yeah, that was pretty much the day. Today's gone quite fast, really. Just been pottering around in my office here. Teachers are striking on Thursday, so that should be interesting. I've got a pedicure booked in tomorrow after work, so we'll see whether they can do that with the water situation. I'm going to turn up. We'll see. So yes, lots to update on. But yeah, when I get home, I'm hoping to pot up. I've got some Siberian tomatoes that my friend started for me, and apparently they fruit in the winter, but you just sort of position them in pots, sort of in quite a sunny, an area that gets sun. So I thought I'd better hurry up and get those into pots, and some of the pots that I want to use are being used for those cuttings I had. So that's why I thought, well, I'll take the lavender cuttings out. Excuse me, I just burped. Plant them in that front garden, and I'll just put those other plants that I bought behind them just for a splash of colour until the lavenders establish themselves. That particular corner of the garden, it grows weeds very quickly. It's very weedy now, and it feels like I only just weeded it. And the rose looks like it needs a bit of a prune as well. So anyway, that's enough blah blah. I'll talk to you guys shortly. I'm back. Well, I've got as far as moving the cuttings around to the front of the house. I made myself a coffee in here so I could take it outside. I've taken some ibuprofen and yeah, I came inside and I thought, no, I'll do some sewing instead because my head was really starting to hurt and I can't even focus on that. So I don't know. I've pulled some lamb chops out for tea. I don't know what we're going to do with them yet, but yeah. I'm starting to feel hot now. I have to take this thing off that I put on. Can't win. Can't win, people. Hey. I just popping back on. I just prepared dinner, so I'm making a lamb curry. And I've just trimmed the meat off the bones as much as I can. Trim the fat as much as I can. Chop them up. Gave them a quick fry with some tikka masala curry paste that my daughter bought. And some onions. It's all made up. No idea what I'm doing. Threw them into a casserole dish. Threw it into a casserole dish with a tin of cooked chopped tomatoes. Last night when we went out for tea, I made a potato salad, but when I do mine, I just boil the potatoes with the skins on, chop them quite big, and added capers and rocket, olive oil and salt and pepper. So we had some of those potatoes left, so I threw that in the pot as well. And what else? Oh, and some yogurt. Mixed it all together, threw it in the oven, and then grabbed all the chopped bones and I've put them in an oven dish on a rack and cooked those up so they'll be nice little crunchy little treats. And we'll have that with rice when that's ready. I've just been sitting here watching podcasts and knitting on my Thea top because I don't have to think too much about it and I don't have to look at the stitches. I can just knit. You can see I'm quite heavy in the eyes. Don't worry, I'm going to make a doctor's appointment about these hormoney things, get it sorted properly. And I forgot to mention today, I saw that Diane from the U Tree Yarn Craft had posted on Instagram that she had a new episode out, and I was going to watch it tonight when I got home, but I decided that while I was doing some book mending, I would just pop her on and put my earbuds in and just AirPods in and just half watch and listen to her while I was working, and she mentioned me. Oh, thanks, Diane. It was really nice. If you haven't seen her before, you need to. I'll try and remember to link her in the description of this video. She's so lovely. And she has a side business, so she works full time. And she has a side business where she makes project bags and notions pouches and even like these little pouches for scissors. And they're just the most, you can just see the really, really, really good quality. So I think she has an Etsy store, and that's U Tree, like oh my words, YEWTREE. Yarn Craft, and she's also been in the last, I don't know, I want to say 6 months, must be a year, been dyeing her own yarn as well, and she's got a really good eye for colour, so check her out and check out her podcast too. Thanks, Diane. That was nice. She mentioned me because she's was inspired to knit the theatre top as well. She's way ahead of me. Say hi.
I was fully
You're fully unprepared for that. Yeah, so she's way ahead of me. So I was like, better get cracking on that one. A what?
my lunches. Can I use the kitchen?
Yeah. Big kid. Yeah, so that's all I was going to say. So I'll show you tea when it is cooked. And I'll continue watching Yana from Finished Knitting Stories. And yeah, okay. Here we go. So you can see the rice, the lamb, and the potatoes. There's a few capers. I should have mentioned too, the potatoes had garlic in them as well. So I'm just watching Luther, the movie, the film, on Netflix. It's very good. I've just had to frog my theatre top. So you do a provisional cast on, tells you to crochet X amount of stitches, then you work down the back, do your increases for your armhole shaping, and then you put those stitches on hold, and then you go back up to the top and you undo the crochet thing, put those stitches on the needle, and there should be X amount of stitches. Now the whole time I was knitting this, I was thinking, far out, it just seems like it's going to be a bit wide. Yeah, it's going to be a bit wide because I'll just throw a number in the hat. If it said cast on or crochet 66 stitches, it only wants you to actually pick up and knit 62. So I didn't read that bit, and I thought 66 chains, and I did a couple of extra just to be, so I've got a bit on the end, and then I did those. So I had 4 stitches too many, which is actually quite a bit at that gauge. And I just couldn't do it because the whole time I kept thinking this is too wide. So I've just frogged the whole lot. So that's so I've just done another chain and now I've got to pick it up again. My head's hurting, my neck's sore. Ugh. And I'm still watching Luther and it's very exciting. I had to actually pause it while I was doing all that. Well, not when I was ripping it out, but when I was carefully undoing my crochet chain and putting my stitches back on the needles. Ah. Oh well. At least it's just easy knitting. It wasn't a pattern or patterned texture or anything. So I'm going to wish you good night. And wish me luck. Good morning, everybody. Just adding this to the end of this video to explain why it's so bits and piecey. So it starts from Monday. Today's Wednesday. And yes, I went to work on Monday and by the afternoon my head was starting to feel a bit again. And I woke up Tuesday morning and the migraine had turned into a full headache. That was a burp. yesterday afternoon it sort of eased off. I still had that sort of foggy feeling in my head, but I thought I was coming right. And I had an appointment for a pedicure that I made a couple of months ago, and I couldn't really cancel it. Well, I could, but I would have had to pay for it. So I decided I'd go, and I'm glad I did because it was really lovely and relaxing, and when I left I felt so good. We had Indian for tea. That was yummy. And then I went to bed and I woke up this morning and my head was pounding again. And honestly, it's such a beautiful day, but I just can't. That light is just too much. So I thought I'd chuck this on the end of the video to explain why it's so bits and piecey. And if I start to feel a bit good later, I'll film some stuff. But in the interim, I'm just lying on the couch. I can't even knit. Just had a few snoozes and yeah. So take care, everybody. Don't get migrainey like me. And I'll catch you later.